Have you ever heard of a band called Calorie Baseball? Yeah, me either. It's because they don't exist. And that name, along with thousands of others just as trash, got generated by a computer alphabetically for songs nobody on Earth was ever meant to hear. So the guy behind this actually used them to steal $8 million in real royalty checks, real money, out of real musicians' pockets and streaming services. And these were for songs that nobody was ever supposed to listen to. He pleaded guilty back in March. His sentence is this July. And when the story made the rounds, a lot of people online weren't even mad about it. Some of them were kind of rooting for him. So we're going to figure out what side you're on. Here's the actual question underneath it. If one guy could fake $8 million worth of success for 7 years before anybody caught him, how much of what you're seeing from any artist online is even real? Alright, so here's what's going on, because it gets a little wilder than you expect. So his name is Michael Smith. He made a deal with an AI music company to crank out something like 10,000 songs in a month. And none of these were written for the radio. They weren't even written to be liked or even good. And yes, they are trash. They're written to exist. Just be there. Each one got an auto-generated artist name and title. So not one band, not one artist would have one song. It was one song per artist, from what I know. And they were assigned alphabetically, so you'd get really weird combos like Zygotic Lenny, Calvinistic Dust, like that first one I said. Kind of just looks like some random indie act or band, but it's not an act at all. He built thousands of bot accounts and had them stream his own songs, not hammering one track which gets flagged fast but spread thin across hundreds of thousands of different songs, so nothing ever looks suspicious. Added up over 7 years, yes, 7 years, you get billions of fake streams turning into more than, wait for it, 8 million in very real payouts. 10,000 songs a month isn't an artist. We're talking about a factory. If you're curious, and you should be because this is crazy, he had to simulate a whole audience of real human listeners. He created bulk emails and fake identities. He bought thousands of random email addresses online, in whatever way you do that, to register user accounts. Then he exploited family plans. To keep everything low on the budget, he basically used the family plan so they could have multiple listeners on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the other ones. That way all the costs would be low and he'd have multiple listeners per. And then he masked financial clues. So to prevent anybody from realizing that these accounts were paid for by the same person, he used a financial service that basically provided a massive volume of corporate debit cards under fake employee names. He simultaneously ran all these using cloud computing services, using automated scripts or macros to keep the web players continuously playing, looping everything 24/7 on multiple browser tabs. And to just evade any network detection, he used virtual private networks, y'all know what that is, VPNs, and proxies. And this basically spoofed and just hid anything that could hint to, the geographic location of these spots, and it made everything look real and unrelated. So the platforms did not catch it all in the same way. And this is the part I think matters more than the crime itself. Spotify caught on really fast, it flagged it, ended up paying him only out around $60,000 total. Pandora paid way less than even $2,000. So we're good there, but problem is Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Tidal. When reporters asked them how much they paid, they wouldn't give them a number. Not even we caught it, not here's what we paid, just nothing. Some of these caught a thief and some people just didn't pick up the phone. So depending on which app an artist's music streams through, the thing protecting the royalties is either pretty sharp or nobody's even willing to say anything about whether it works at all. So here's the part that actually surprised me. When this blew up, a lot of the response wasn't outrage, it wasn't people going crazy about this crashing out. It was just like, good for him. But maybe it's a little valid. Hear it out. That reaction isn't random or crazy. So around the same time, a journalist named Liz Pelly published a report claiming Spotify ran its own internal program. Totally separate from this case, by the way, where cheap mass-produced tracks got credited to artists who don't even exist, and then quietly seeded into popular playlists so that people would get streams on it. And the real musician behind those tracks got a flat fee and basically no royalties, while those plays competed for the same money pool as working artists. And nobody's arresting anybody for that one. It's not legal what they did in the same way that what Michael Smith did. But I get why people connected the two. So I'm not saying that these are the same thing. One is fraud, the other's a legal but messy industry habit. But to a regular listener just seeing both headlines in the same week, it's the same move, just a little bit different. Alright, now we gotta ask yourselves, why is this bigger than just one guy? Let's zoom out for a second. Streaming pulled in about $15 billion in the US last year alone, and people who actually track this kind of fraud for a living will tell you that they don't even have a solid number on how much of that is fake. But even 1 or 5% is real money getting siphoned out of a pool meant for real working musicians, not using all this AI and this fraud. Smith's just one person who caught and made headlines, and he's not the only person who's ever tried this. And by now, it's 2026. You've probably heard even more AI songs. Deezer's own numbers, as of this April, they're flagging around 75,000 AI generated tracks a day. Spotify already wiped 75 million tracks in one sweep last year. Sony had to request takedowns on 135,000 songs that were straight up impersonating their own artists. Apple Music flagged 2 billion fraudulent streams this year alone. So we can say that Michael Smith did not invent this. He's just the guy who got caught early enough to end up in a DOJ press release. So Spotify rolled out a feature this year that lets artists approve their own releases before they go live. And that's because scammers were uploading fake songs straight onto real artists' page and stealing the plays that way. What does this actually mean if you're an artist? So if you're an independent artist, here's what is important to you. It's really easy to look at somebody else's numbers and their streams and their followers and their viral stuff and feel like that you're falling behind and whatever because of all these numbers. They didn't crack the code. This is a case that you can take that not at face value. Some of it's real talent, like real artists, real hustle, and some of it's side hustle, right? Bot farms. They're just messing around on the outside. So half the time, you never really know, and neither could these streaming services. So that's not exactly comforting, but it's something, you know? So we're catching them, and we're probably going to be able to catch them better in the future, so maybe there's a little reassurance there, but that did not stop Michael Smith. So, can we trust any artist numbers anymore? Not blindly, to be honest, and honestly, that was never really true. This is just the first time it's got proven in federal court instead of just being, a theory. So Smith gets sentenced this July. It's definitely worth circling back. We'll see what actually happens. I'll probably follow up with a different video, so make sure you subscribe. Don't miss it. Definitely going to cover it. This is going to be like a part 2 probably. The verdict's probably not going to shock anybody, right? We probably all know what's coming, but because whatever he says walking out of that courtroom might be real honest, and we're really going to hear an interesting story. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Obviously, hit that like button if you enjoyed it. I put a lot of work into these videos, so I really appreciate it. And obviously, sub for more in that part 2. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one.